What if Dragon Age 5 was the final game? Let's pretend we have the opportunity to shape what that looks like. Hello crows and non-crows alike, my name is Joe Mac, otherwise known as Support Crow, and it's Dragon Age Day, a community day for fans of the franchise, and I thought I'd contribute to the celebration by letting my imagination run wild. And I'm going to do so by pretending Electronic Arts and BioWare, for whatever reason, has hauled me off to a conference room and demanded I design the blueprint for their next bestseller, Dragon Age 5. Hey, a fan can dream, okay? For the purpose of this video, we're just going to pretend we have unlimited money, talent, and time working on this project. Like I said, this is for fun. Being realistic is for accountants. Today we are dreamers, embarking into the Fade to craft an experience that we'll enjoy.
Tell me everything you know.
You aren't worried I'll just make it up as I go?
Not at all.
Number 1, remasters. The first thing we do actually doesn't touch Dragon Age 5. Before we can start this project, we have to go back a little and remaster Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age 2, and Dragon Age Inquisition. I would also change the title of Dragon Age 2 and make it Dragon Age Exodus because that is what it's supposed to be, and I will die on that hill. Having a random number in the franchise just looks stupid anyway. This helps us get the project off to the right start because it allows us to do two things. On the technical side, in the remaster, we can create references to different choices we may want to have consequences for in Dragon Age 5. And on the marketing side, it gives fans and the larger gaming community a more recent release, or in this case a re-release, of a Dragon Age game that is not Veilguard. You might love Veilguard, you might hate Veilguard, but I think everyone can agree that if Dragon Age 5 launches and the last thing people remember is that Qunari forehead, then it'd be like shooting ourselves in the foot. A remaster gives us the opportunity to remind people that there are 3 other games in this franchise.
Is that so?
That's so. If you're not at full strength, you're a liability we can't afford.
Fine. Your call.
Number 2, The Last Dragon Age. The second decision I would make about this project, about Dragon Age 5, is that I would make it the last Dragon Age game. I know that sounds controversial, because if you enjoy something and aim to make it great, why end it? Why not have it go on forever? Well, I think Veilguard kinda answers that question. Things change, studios change, fan bases change, developers are laid off, fans move on. Publishers switch their dedications. It's gonna happen to Mass Effect also. Another good example is Assassin's Creed. Look how that has changed since the first game. If you have the ability and opportunity and truly want something to continue without burdening yourself in the process, then pursue that continuation by all means. And yes, I do recognize the irony of me saying this in a video about designing the 5th sequel of a franchise. I think publishers and studios get caught in how much money can be made, and I believe there is this inherent feeling of fear from fans that comes with franchises ending. Nobody likes it when things end, and it's a gamble to try and create something new after ending something you've put a lot of love into. But the danger in not allowing things to end is the gamble that you end up running the franchise into the ground. How I would end Dragon Age with Dragon Age 5 is essentially go back, remember the things that stood out across all those past games, and make it this grand eulogy, a swan song. In fact, that's a great name for it, Dragon Age Eulogy. Eulogy, as defined, means a speech or piece of writing that praises someone or something highly. Typically someone who has just died. That's perfect. That's the name of our game now, Dragon Age Eulogy.
Without an end, there can be no peace. It gets no easier. Your struggles have only just begun.
Number 3, consequential companions. Every Dragon Age has companions, and your adventures with them make up the core of every game. Because we have unlimited amounts of money and talent and time, Dragon Age Eulogy is going to have 12 companions, and many of them are ones you may already know. However, there's a little bit of a caveat to this. Depending on your choices from past games, a lot of the companions on the list may or may not be alive to join you. And depending on who you romanced in past games, some of the companions may or may not be available to romance now. So here's the list of companions for Dragon Age Eulogy. Number 1, Alistair. Alistair's story splits in all kinds of ways. He could end up being dead at the end of Inquisition or Origins, he could be a king, he could be a drunkard in Dragon Age 2, or perhaps he is still alive as a Grey Warden. He may even be out there lost in the Fade somewhere. If he's a Grey Warden or perhaps a drunkard looking for redemption, then he could make a return as our first companion on the list.
Yes, I'm still here. What do you want from me?
So you are here.
Go away, Sigurd.
That's enough, Alistair. I think you've wallowed in self-pity long enough, don't you?
Number 2, Morrigan. Morrigan has been a mainstay across the majority of Dragon Age games, and if Eulogy is going to be the last game, then it would be a crime not to include her on the companion list. Morrigan is also one of the few characters that is still alive across all the games.
I dare say 'twas a show of force. 'Twas both pleasure and necessity to help then, as it is now. Stopping Elganon and Gillenane shall require many hands.
Number 3, Liliana. Liliana is interesting. She could end up being the Pope, essentially. And she could still be a spy master. I don't see her leaving her post as Divine to join us on our adventures, but maybe the Inquisition could send her along to help us out, if she's on a different path.
When the time comes, consider giving them what they want.
What? You're not serious.
They cannot act against what they cannot see. Publicly, I will of course retire from this life, as one would expect. Let them think they've finally won. I shall take up charity work, become a patron of the arts, as all respectable women of my age do. And perhaps take on a protégé. Our work never ends, Inquisitor. We just need fewer witnesses.
Number 4, Bartrand. In Dragon Age the Veilguard, Varric Tethras, our most beloved dwarf and sharpshooter, is canonically killed. Across everyone's playthrough, Varric is dead and we're all sad about it. Bartrand's story so far in Dragon Age ends one of 2 ways. He either is killed in Dragon Age 2 or Varric takes him off somewhere to get help in a Chantry sanitarium. We don't know what Bartrand is up to in Veilguard, so he could have gotten better, and with him as a companion, we could learn more about what Varric was up to prior to and after Inquisition.
Oh, Varric, please forgive me, my brother. I was just jealous of you. How could I ever compete with you for Mother's love?
You're strong and handsome, and so very smart.
What?
Number 5, Isabella. In Veilguard, Isabella is alive and well despite whatever choices we may have made in Dragon Age 2. This opens her up to the opportunity of joining us for a new adventure. Number 6, Fenris. Fenris is another character that could be dead by the end of Dragon Age 2, or Fenris could be in the Tevinter Imperium fighting slavers. Fenris gets to all kinds of trouble after Dragon Age 2, so it'd be interesting to see him again and get to know what all he's been up to.
You have no idea what we went through, what I've had to do since Mother died. This was my only chance.
And now you have no chance at all.
Please, don't do this. Please, tell him to stop.
Wait. Don't kill her. Why not? She was ready to see me killed. What is she to me other than just one more tool of the Magisters?
Number 7, Cassandra. Cassandra would be an interesting character to see return, assuming she's not busy being the Divine. In Inquisition, she either becomes Divine, or she sticks with the Inquisition in whichever form it takes after the events of Trespasser. She's also a character that remains alive across all the games.
You should have come with me. You didn't believe in the war any more than I did.
You know me. I wanted that promotion.
Go to the Maker's side, Daniel. You will be welcome.
Number 8, Cerebos. Not Cerebos that we've met, but just a Qunari mage that was once a Cerebos. We've encountered them in Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition, and they've been these powerful people shackled by the Qun. I'd love it if we could explore a character that was once a Cerebos but has since escaped from that situation, turned Talvashov, and is now trying to figure out who they are, and what their purpose and reason for living is. And I know that this isn't a character that has come before, but we also got to make sure that there are characters in here that can be companions no matter what, just in case someone went murder hobo mode and just sort of try to kill as many people as they could. Number 9, Dagna. Dagna is a dwarf arcanist who is unique because despite growing up with no hope of being able to use magic and being groomed to just be another smith or merchant or whatever, she would eventually grow that fascination of magic into a career, essentially. From the streets of Orzammar in Dragon Age Origins, Dagna would later become the Inquisitor's Arcanist. Dagna should still be alive post-Velgard, and given developments with the Titans and the Stone and whatnot, Dagna could be closer to living her dream than she may think. Number 10, Kieran. We're now getting into the more obscure consequential companions. The first of which being Kieran, the son of Morrigan and whoever agrees to do the Dark Ritual during the 5th Blight. We last saw Kieran in Inquisition, and we didn't hear anything about him in Velgard. If Kieran does exist, he'd likely be a powerful mage around his mid-20s to early 30s. Prime companion material. Number 11, the Fade Sacrifice. In Dragon Age Inquisition, we have to make a choice to leave someone behind in the Fade, and it is assumed that that person dies. However, some concept art from Velgard shows this person, whoever they are, is still alive. What if, along our journey in Eulogy, we eventually save this person and bring them along for the ride? The characters this could embody would be Hawk, Alistair, Loghain, or Shroud. Imagine bringing Hawk back and watching him sort of readjust back to the waking world, only to find out that Varric ended up getting killed in Velgard. All of these characters would have a tough time. Gosh, not only that, but if you have Bartrand there as a companion, then that'd be a whole situation right there. Oh my god, imagine Bartrand being the one to break the news to him. Oh no. Oh, that would be a gut punch. Anyway, moving on. Number 12, Harding or Davron. In Velgard, Harding or Davron does whatever it takes to defeat one of the ancient elven gods. They fall into a pit of blight and their body is never seen again. And they are also assumed to be dead. Perhaps in the same pace as we save our Fade Sacrifice from Inquisition, we also come across some version of Harding or Davron and be able to save them also. So there you have it, your 12 companions, 8 of which are assumed to be alive in one form or another. The last 4 may be dead or may not even exist. I think there could be some interesting dynamics with these companions. I'd also love to see how someone like Bartrand would work and get along with someone like Dagna, if at all. Bartrand has this egocentric enthusiasm for the traditions of dwarves and how dwarven society operates. Meanwhile, you have Dagna, who romanticizes their daydreams and ideologies, often abandoning tradition for the possible rewards of curiosity. Then you have Morrigan, who would be interesting to just have as a companion again by herself. But if you were to pair her up with anyone from the past games that were close to her, that interest skyrockets off the chart, especially when you consider your choices in Origins and Inquisition. Imagine if you had Alistair perform the Dark Ritual with Morrigan, which resulted in the birth of Kieran. Then consider if you left Alistair behind in the Fade in Inquisition. This gives you the opportunity to have Morrigan, Kieran, and Alistair, the whole family, traveling with you in this adventure. That would be some heavy stuff.
Whew. The rock wraiths are supposed to be dwarven legends. They're not even supposed to be real.
Looked pretty real to me.
Right, so we have our name, we have our companions, what's next? Number 4, gameplay and exploration. When it comes to gameplay, I think Inquisition had it best. We're bringing back the tactical camera from Inquisition and the crafting mechanic from Inquisition, where you could craft your own weapons, armor, potions, and upgrade whatever. I was really missing that in Velgard. And when it comes to exploration, I think we're going to ditch the open hub world zone thing, and instead move to mission-based linear and branching battle maps, if you will. You choose a location on a map, it plays out a story through a level, you fight and defeat and collect whatever you need to, and then you never see that area again. You help Fenris fight through some sewers in Minrathous to help free some slaves, and then you're done. You play through a dragon's lair with the dragon as that level's boss battle, and then you're done. You wine and dine, cloak and dagger, your way through an Orlesian ballroom to gather intel with Liliana, and then you're done.
I've just encountered some Ferelden band wearing the same outfit as me. I need to change immediately.
Utter humiliation, sir. His lordship isn't fit to be seen in this condition.
A matter of social life or death. Get me into the castle now!
I'd have your base of operations be open and perhaps a few market areas be open and free to explore, but everything else has its own dedicated time. The reason behind that is because I want to hit the nail on the head that this is the last Dragon Age game. We have to provide the feeling of finality. This is the last time you're going to see this area. The last time you're going to see this character. The last time you're going to see this story. For the majority of people that have a heartbeat, if you know that something is going to be the last time of anything, the value of that moment is significantly higher than what it would be normally. If we have players experience that feeling and then allow them to return after, then it diminishes the effort, in my opinion. There is something about knowing that there is a ultimate ending, a final destination, if you will, that maximizes the value. As to the type of quests and levels you'll go on, well, let's think about our core pillars of Dragon Age. Pillar number 1. It's right in the title. Dragons. So Dragon Lairs would be awesome levels to play through and a great way to collect resources to craft your gear.
When you put it like that, I'm worried I killed one of your gods or something.
Nah, one of Tevinter's gods, maybe. They worship dragons, right? Kill the shit out of them all you like.
Pillar number 2. Companions. We're totally going to have companion-centric levels, not only for the stories, but also to unlock companion-centric gear. And last, but definitely not least, pillar number 3. Character identity. There is going to be a main story for this game, but we should also have levels that respect and celebrate what makes your character unique. Levels that highlight your race, your class, and perhaps even a chosen origin story. Because we have all the money, time, and talent, of course we're going to bring back origin stories. Depending on your race and class, you'll be able to start the game in a number of different ways. Perhaps you're a blood mage that's hiding in Arlathan Forest. Perhaps you're a detective that works in Orlais. Perhaps you're a circle mage that did not pass their harrowing. You get the idea. Although this is the ending of the Dragon Age franchise and a celebration of all its different characters and stories along the way, that shouldn't mean your character is any less important. To emphasize on this, your origin will also become your conflict, and similar to the storylines that companions have, you will also have your own unique side story that connects back to your origin. So, for example, if you're a detective in Orlais, perhaps you're still working on a case throughout the game. If you're the mage that failed the harrowing, perhaps you escaped the tower, but now you're possessed by a demon that has its own agenda. Perhaps you're a Lord of Fortune that's having their own Uncharted-style adventure to uncover a grand artifact of some kind. We've kind of slipped into the last topic, so let's jump right to it.
We stand upon the precipice of change. The world fears the inevitable plummet into the abyss. Watch for that moment, and when it comes, do not hesitate to leap.
Number 5, the story. In the last Dragon Age game, we're set up to come face to face with the Executors. Strange, potentially spiritual beings that have supposedly pulled all the threads in the past games to get to this point. We need a protagonist that can learn what the Executors are up to and fight them. But we also need a story that goes back and pay respect to all those different kinds of threads. So here's the main plot of the story, if you will. A brief, rough draft. Our main goal is to find the hero of Ferelden. If the hero of Ferelden died during the 5th Blight, then we're actually looking for the Commander of the Grey from Dragon Age Awakening. These are both characters that Morrigan has met with. She met with the hero in Origins, and if the hero dies, Morrigan would have met the Commander in the Origins DLC, Witch Hunt. I'll explain why this is important in a second, but just keep that in your mind for now. The Executors are the main antagonistic force in this game, so they become the conflict for our main character to move from their origin to the main story of the game. Similar to how Duncan is the catalyst of that segue from origin to the main story in Origins, Morrigan takes up that role. Perhaps she saves us from some kind of executor shifty business, and helping her in her quest also helps us with our own personal story. Our quest from that point onward is to find the hero of Ferelden or the Commander of the Grey from Awakening. For the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to refer to these characters as MacGuffin. Since the events of Origins and Awakening, MacGuffin has figured out what the Executors are, what they are planning, and has been trying to figure out how to stop them. This is why MacGuffin has not been seen in decades, because of their need for secrecy, because the Executors and their agents could be anywhere. However, now the Executors are not being so secretive, and we are following MacGuffin's trail to learn what they know, so we can put an end to the Executors and their machinations once and for all. This is an adventure that will take us back to Tevinter, back to Orlais, back to Kirkwall, back to Denerim, and perhaps all the way back to Ostagar. Perhaps the final boss battle of the game takes place on the top of the Tower of Vishal, where our Dragon Age saga truly began, all of which culminating in the most final of finales and an ending that pays ultimate respect to the franchise that has had its ups and downs like no other. In the end, Dragon Age Eulogy becomes everything we could hope for in a final Dragon Age game, built upon the remasters that honor the past and boldly closing the series with purpose rather than fatigue and lack of identity. It rallies together a cast of companions shaped by the choices we've made across the series, and returns to the tactical, crafted, and character-driven heart of the franchise so many have come to love and enjoy. Through new origins, identity-rooted side stories, and a journey that takes us from memory lane to the gates of the Black City itself, we follow in the footsteps of our very first Dragon Age character, the hero of Ferelden who began it all, every thread, every choice, and every sacrifice, playing a crucial role that shapes this swan song, this celebration, this final farewell worthy of the world we've explored for nearly 2 decades. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you are enjoying your Dragon Age Day. Let me know how you designed Dragon Age 5 down in the comments. What game mechanics must it have? Would you have it be more open world or more level based? Let me know down below. This is the final video of Support Crow Season 2, so I hope you've enjoyed the season as a whole. Unless something absolutely major happens, we'll be having a quiet December. I'm looking forward to seeing you crows again next year. Until then though, be safe, be well, be kind, and have a great holiday.